In today's video, I'm going over Google Analytics, also called GA, and Google Search Console, which I'll also refer to as GSC. They're two powerful tools made by the most important company for SEO, Google, that can help you better understand website traffic data. While they do have some things in common, there are actually more differences than similarities. Fortunately, you don't have to choose one over the other, and you can actually get both. In this video, I'll show you the types of data you can get with GA and GSE and how I personally use the tools for my websites. At the end, I'll summarize what use case each one is better for. And by the way, I'm currently making separate videos to help you learn how to install both GA and GSE on WordPress. You can find links to the videos below. Now, just to give a summary, Google Analytics, it lets you do things such as track audience data to your website, understand traffic acquisition across multiple channels, which means you can get data not only from Google, but other sources like Bing, other websites, Facebook, etc. Google Analytics will also help you break down user behavior, giving you information such as time on page, bounce rate, etc. It's also very powerful in helping you track conversions, create custom reports, and see your top performing pages. Google Search Console, it gives you the ability to track organic search data from Google. Google Search Console also lets you inspect and live test your URLs, testing and verifying your pages for crawlability and finding potential errors. That way, when you update a page, you can submit it to Google Search Console, and Google will be able to index it and crawl it as soon as possible so that your changes are able to be seen. Google Search Console will also let you look at and manage your internal links, track HTML and crawl errors in general, view security issues, look at your site speed performance, as well as being able to look at AMP performance, and will also show you data about your web stories. In case you're short on time, I've also put some timestamps in this video, so feel free to skip around to the parts that you're most interested in. This is the walkthrough for Google Search Console. I mostly just like to look at it for the performance. You can also find this data for particular queries and pages in general. I like to look at the top queries to better understand how people are coming to my site, which is very helpful. Also, looking at pages is extremely helpful. But what's even better is you can dive in deeper to a particular page. For example, if I click on my top ranking page here, it will give me data just on this page. And then I can also even go to queries for this page. Now, if I also combine average position, it will show it here, and I can see, okay, this query gets 306 clicks to this page, 2,000 impressions with an average position of 6. So if you look through some of these queries, let me move my face. If you look through these queries, this can give you a good idea of what keywords to actually add to your page. So actually go through here. I might add plate reverb pedal to this article if I'm trying to improve it, or best simple reverb pedal, because people are already clicking on this page and even just looking at this page from these queries. By adding these keywords into your page, you're going to rank better for them and get more traffic. Google Search Console is giving you this data, and you definitely should use it to better optimize for pages. When you first log into Google Analytics, you're going to see this view. Now, by default, it is shown last 7 days. That tells you information about this week compared to the previous week. So this week we saw 136 users. That's up 11.5% from last week. We're seeing 143 sessions, which is 12.6% up from last week. We're seeing bounce rate at 87.41%, which is down 10.5%. It's a good thing in this case. One thing to keep in mind, Google Analytics shows you all website traffic to your website, not just from Google. Google Search Console is all about traffic only from Google. So Google Analytics gives you a better understanding of how many visitors you are actually seeing, whether they come in from Google, Bing, social media, directly to your website, email. Google Analytics is definitely overall a more powerful tool if you're trying to get a better understanding of your entire website visitors. Now, driving into the various tools within Google Analytics, there is a real-time report that will show you visitors who are currently on your site at that moment. Ultimately, I don't think it's that important unless you're having some sort of stream event or big event at that moment. because you can always look at that data later on. Audience is where I spend a lot of my time looking through the various data points of Google Analytics. Now, I usually like to see past 30 days rather than just the past week. And then if I want, I can lay that over and hit compare to previous period. So this will compare the past 30 days to the previous 30 days. So if we hit that, we can see, okay, the orange line is the previous set of days and the blue line was the past 30 days. And again, it gives us some comparison. Behavior, you can look at how many of your visitors are new visitors or returning visitors. So if you're really trying to build a brand and not just rely on organic search traffic, you do want your returning visitor traffic to be a little higher than what I have here. But this site is just like a pretty crappy affiliate site. So I am actually impressed that the number is this high. For mobile, this is a little deceptive. It will show you what devices your visitors are coming in. So desktop, mobile, tablet, this is pretty normal. We see 50%, 45, and 5. It's going to vary depending on your niche and your website, but it does help you with, hey, if you have a lot of mobile visitors, maybe you really need to make sure your pages are better optimized for mobile devices. So really look at this section. Acquisition and behavior are two of my favorite sections. Acquisition, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's how does your website get its traffic? So I go to all traffic, I go to channels. So here we can see, okay, 87% of my visitors since 2017. Let's actually just change it to last 30 days. It's probably not going to change much, the numbers. Yeah, so 89% from organic, 42 direct, 5 from social media, 3 from referral. This is a really great way to see how your visitors are coming in. For example, if you've just been blasting social media campaigns, but this number is still very low, this might mean that, hey, your strategy isn't really working. For source/medium, this gives you a little more specific information than channels. Like channels is very broad. Source medium gives you more specifics in that we can see, okay, like 87% are coming from Google. This data point doesn't change, but we have 5 visitors coming from DuckDuckGo. We have a few visitors from Facebook, etc. So this allows you to drill in more about where your visitors come from, and is definitely something that you want to dig into for your websites very frequently. These other components, not too important. You don't really need them. Behavior, though, the biggest feature that I use behavior for is looking at your top pages. It has some other information, site speed being the most important here, but we can get better data through Google Search Console. Here in behavior, if you click full report, you'll get to this page. I'll move my pace up here actually for now. If you view full report, you'll actually end up on this page. And it's pretty nice because it tells you the top pages. You can sort it from various data points, bounce rate, page views. I typically do page views, which is the default. And you can also show more pages. So you can see your top 25 pages, your top 10, whatever. What's nice here is a comparison. So it can show you a rate of change over time. So here I'm mostly looking at this. So, okay, this page went up 55%. This page went up 130%. This page went down 8%. It lets you identify trends going on with your page. Wrapping up. So the most important features of Google Analytics is 1, checking out the audience, just general behavior and page views. 2, acquisition, both going through the channels and the source medium to really understand where your visitors are coming from. From there, behavior is probably the number 3 feature that you really need to look into so that you can look at your top pages, as well as other metrics, such as average time on page and bounce rate. In comparing Google Analytics and Google Search Console, like I said, they both have a place for your business. You should be using both, and there's no reason why you shouldn't. They both take about 10 minutes to set up, maybe 20 if you're new to this with the help of my videos. But again, you absolutely need both. Google Search Console is better in helping you understand how to get more traffic from Google itself and only Google. So it's not going to help you get more social media visits, etc. It gives you very specific information and very specific reasons about issues it has with your site. So you can really use Google Search Console to dig into issues and fix things with your sites to maximize your rankings. Now, with Google Analytics, it's the perfect analytics tool. It's going to give you as much information as you need about your visitors, about various data points, where they come from, how long they're spending on each page. If you have an e-commerce or Shopify store, it can also tell you transaction amount, conversion rate, etc. So Google Analytics is a very, very powerful tool in determining and learning about your site's traffic so you can better optimize your site. If you see you have more visitors from the UK, you want to make sure your UK loading time is good. If you want to make sure most of your visitors come from mobile devices, you want to make sure your pages look damn good on mobile devices. So keep that in mind. Both of them are extremely important. I would say if I had to live off of just one, it would be Google Analytics. So don't be afraid to use both of them. They're both very powerful and both can really help improve and build your business.